Curtis King, I feel like I don't get the likes that I deserve on Facebook, and it's starting to piss me off. Can you help me out with that? Let's talk about it. Rappers and producers, we've all seen Facebook go through many different transformations over the years. When I first got on Facebook, I couldn't get on Facebook because it was really only for people who were going to college, and I wasn't in college and I couldn't put that in, but that was years ago. And thankfully they opened it up to the general public. Thankfully they, eventually integrated their Facebook pages, really for businesses and for artists and producers who want to create, a fan page that all their fans can congregate to within the world that is Facebook. And obviously, even that has gone through some transitions. It used to be where likes were super easy to get. It used to be where even engagement was super easy to get. But then Zuckerberg and the good people at Facebook got real smart real fast, and it ended up hitting a lot of us in the pocket. Now, here's the thing about it. If you don't know, Facebook has something called an algorithm system. And the way that this works, without going into too much technical detail, for those of you who don't know, an algorithm is basically it's a strategy, not a strategy, but it's a, how can I put this? It's a formula that basically dictates whether or not your content will be seen by the majority of your audience. How do they judge this particular formula? Well, it's based upon a few different measurements like engagement. It's based upon the amount of comments. It's based upon the actual views. There's even something called a 3-second views. Well, if somebody watches your video for 3 seconds and they click off, that is also another metric that they go by. But basically, here's what they want from you as a Facebook contributor, whether you're a rapper, producer, or just a regular Joe Schmo. They want you to keep people on Facebook. When you sign up for Facebook, you have signed up as an employee. You are basically here to keep your friends and family on Facebook. So when you're not posting things that are actually getting an engagement, your stuff gets pushed further and further off the timeline. The news feed, I should say. So you ever get a post where you're like, man, I know this should have a lot more likes than it should. What is this? It's because you have damaged your algorithm so badly by putting up content that either nobody's engaging with or putting up content that Facebook has deemed as spam or deemed as too salesy, like using terms like buy, download now, visit this site, putting a naked YouTube URL. When I say naked, I mean like not putting it in a tiny link or a bit URL, putting a naked YouTube link. These things are damaging to your algorithm, and therefore Facebook says, look, we're not putting that at the top of the news feed because one, people are not engaging with that, and two, you're asking for people to leave the website. No, we want to keep them here because Facebook makes money when you sit in front of ads. If you're on Facebook sitting in front of ads that have been following you since you looked up a pair of shoes. It happened to me. I looked up a pair of Griffey's and these ads were following me from every single news site I went to and all the way to Facebook. I was on Facebook looking at the very shoes I just got through looking at, like, what the hell is going on? That's because Facebook has a system that is meant to keep you there. That's why when you visit a link on Facebook, the blue bar still remains the top because they want to keep you within Facebook. You're not exiting to go to Safari or go to, Chrome or Firefox. You're staying within Facebook. So you may ask, well, why am I not getting the likes I deserve when I get away from my personal page? Okay, Curtis, I'm away from my personal page and now I'm sitting on my fan page. I should be getting likes here. I should be getting engagement. Here's the thing about it. You are still a part of their business model, Facebook's business model. So when you have a fan page, here's the way this works. And I actually got put on the game very recently about how they have transitioned this. But when you are on Facebook fan page, you will get a better algorithm score if you had 10 likes, but those 10 people engage with every one of your posts, you would get a better score because that's 100% engagement than if you had 70,000 people and only 30% of people have engaged with your post. Then that alone becomes a situation where they look at your fan page and say, look, that algorithm score is terrible. We got to push you further down the news feed. Because in essence, they want to keep you off of Facebook because you're not keeping people on Facebook. So what you got to do is this. First and foremost, you got to start thinking of out-of-the-box ways to increase engagement. The best way that I have learned to increase engagement on Facebook, ask a damn question. Because you know Facebook is the place where all the judges and all the detectives and the CSI people of the world, they go there and they become specialists. All the fake specialists, all the professional fake specialists go to Facebook. So that being said, if they all exist there, ask them a question and watch them come out in droves to give their opinion. Ask them a general question. Who had a better jump shot, Kobe or Jordan? Oh, you crazy for that, even asking for this question. Find the hot topics that are within your particular brand. Ask the questions. Watch the engagement go up. Once you do this, I would do this even once a day. Not even once a day. I would say like 3 times a week I would do this. Increase engagement. And then as you start to present your posts that are meant to drive people to your actual website or even drive people to your song download, then you start putting boosted posts on top of that. Then you start actually putting money towards it. When you put money towards it, not only are you getting in front of people that actually want to see your content, you're not getting penalized by Facebook for having these really salesy type, updates. You still don't want to have, status updates on your fan page that are like, download this now, buy this now. You still want to kind of finesse it. Figure out a way to say it like, the future is here now. Go here, visit here. Find a way to kind of finesse it to where it doesn't sound like you're just directly selling to people and getting them to just leave off of Facebook. So you got to smarten up now in this day and age. As you start to see Facebook sort of changing the game, that don't mean you got to leave Facebook. You don't have to leave. You just got to be more strategic about the way that you go about putting your content out there and not afraid of putting your money where your mouth is. Because if you're afraid of putting your money where your mouth is on Facebook, you're going to fall further and further and further down that news feed. And you're going to be looking one day where you got a picture with Eminem and people are not even seeing it on their timeline because you've jacked your algorithm score up so bad. I mean, let's not even get started on you fools. And I say fools. And I don't really say it a whole lot, but you fools. You fools out there that want to just tag 99 people at a time. There's probably nothing more damaging to your algorithm. And why do I say that? Because when somebody does not want to be tagged in your post and they untag themselves, that's a score against you. When you're tagging a bunch of people and they don't even have to go look at it. If they don't engage with it, once again, it's going against you. You want to make sure that if you tagging somebody, they're for sure going to watch. You better tag your mama, your brother, your sister. You better tag people you know are going to watch it if you're going to tag somebody. But don't go to doing 1,000, 2,000 people because all you're going to do is notify people who are going to delete you and make your algorithm score just dip through the ground, crash and burn. That's what's going to happen. So if you really want to master the Facebook game, if you really want to get your engagement up, start asking questions, start figuring out creative ways to get engagement, start getting people. I mean, even something that's another great example. And I learned that from the Jab, 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 Right Hook book with Gary Vee is have an image that basically tells people, look, who do you think is a better rapper? Jay-Z or Nas, and then have it to where it says, put the laughing emoji for Nas and put the heart emoji for Jay-Z, and then watch the engagement start to go up. Watch the conversation start to occur within the actual comment. This is the way that you're going to win in Facebook, not spamming, not sitting up here just blindly putting up posts. There's a way to win at it, especially as it changes and it transitions. You can do it. I just gave you a few of those tools. Once again, that's another Curtspiration. Dude, if you need some more of this juice, please subscribe to the channel below. Be a part of the notification gang. Hey, thank you to all my Patreon supporters. If you want to support, go to patreon.com/CurtisKing. And for those out you that are trying to master this Facebook game or you feel like you mastered the game, share some of your strategies below. Let folks engage with you and really just show them, show them the light. Really show them the light. Show them that there's a better way to approach things and tell them how detrimental it is. I'm not making this stuff up. The Facebook algorithm is real. If you don't know of it by now, do some research. You are damaging yourself before you even get a running start. In this life, you will not be full of life until you decide to live life to its fullest. Curtis King, CurtisKingBeats.com.
I can't listen to you. When I listen to you, it's a liability. Cause you be mentally killing my inner energy. So I'm concealing my feelings before you injure me.